How's it going, everybody? Tom here with Keto Lifestyle, and today I am going to be starting a brand new series. This is going to be the Keto for Beginners series, and I'm mostly doing this because I just want to put all the information I have on starting keto and really getting into keto in one place. That way people like you who maybe are just starting out or are looking at starting keto have one place to go to kind of learn all the things that I think are important when you're starting keto. So if that sounds interesting to you, hang tight and we're going to get started right now. So as I was editing this, I felt the need to kind of jump in here and say that this is by no means a complete list of the medical benefits of keto, the personal benefits that I've experienced, or anything like that. I am not a doctor. I don't know the science behind it. I will leave some articles in the description about, things that I mentioned in here, but this is by no means a complete list, and it's just, a few highlighted points because I didn't want this video to get too long. So with that, let's get going. So the first thing is, what is keto? Keto is a way of eating that basically converts your body from burning on glucose and carbohydrates to burning on fat sources. Now, this is done through a process called ketosis, in which your liver takes the fats that you consume and converts them into ketones. Ketones can then be used to power your brain and your body. Now, ketones are not the preferred source of energy for your body, so just eating a lot of fats isn't going to help you. You actually have to drop your carbohydrates down because those are ranked higher in priority for your body to use as a fuel source. So for me personally, I keep my carbs under about 20 net carbs a day. We will get into the ketogenic macros in another video, but the important thing to understand now is that your carbs have to be very low, your fats have to be very high, and your proteins have to be somewhere in the middle. So now that you kind of have an understanding of what keto is and how to get your body to become keto adapted, let's talk about kind of where it started and what some of the benefits of keto are medically, and then I'll go into my personal feelings on what I benefit. So medically, keto has been used to treat all sorts of conditions, but a big one was epilepsy, and they actually used 90% fat and like 10% protein, and they just as few carbs as possible to treat epilepsy. Now again, for people that are just dieting, your fats don't need to be that high and your carbs can be a little higher, but that's kind of where it started. It's also been used to treat Alzheimer's. There's some signs that it can prevent and help with certain types of cancers, and there's actually been a lot of use for it in the diabetic community. This is because you're consuming less sugars, you're consuming less carbs, and so your insulin is less responsive. So your insulin's not spiking, which is kind of a benefit for everybody, not just diabetics. Because when your insulin spikes, actually, you start to store fat that you've consumed as actual body fat. Now, without that insulin spike, this process doesn't happen. So what are some of the benefits that I personally feel on keto? Well, for one, I feel a whole lot better. Now, this could just be me, and maybe I have some sensitivity to carbohydrates, but personally, when I eat carbs, especially after becoming keto adapted, I just feel like garbage. I feel bloated, I feel tired, I don't want to do anything. Going to the gym sounds awful. But when I'm, strict on keto, I have plenty of energy. I'm always wanting to go to the gym. I just physically feel a lot better. And I also notice that I don't get sick quite as frequently. Another thing is that I'm able to fast a lot longer. I personally believe in intermittent fasting, and I will try to fast as long as possible. When I'm eating carbs, I can't make it till maybe 1 or 2 in the afternoon. When I'm strictly on keto, 6 or 7 o'clock is nothing. I can fast from 10 p.m. the previous night to 6 or 7 p.m. the next day, and I feel great. Another thing is that when I am strictly on keto, I notice that my focus is perfect. I'm able to focus on the task at hand, get it done, and I don't space out too much. When I have carbs, I notice that I'm kind of spacey, and I don't really perform as well. I'm not as efficient, and I'm not as productive of a person. Another benefit that I notice is because I am actually trying to put on muscle mass as well as lose weight, but I find that I lose less muscle when I'm cutting on a keto diet than when I'm cutting with carbs. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that your body is preferring the fats as a fuel source. So the actual fat that is burning off my body is actually being used as fuel, and my muscles are being mostly spared. That being said, my muscular endurance when I'm at the gym, I definitely don't feel the ability to go and run a marathon. High speed for a long length of time becomes harder for me when I'm on keto. This is just a personal experience, but I'm able to go with less intensity for a lot longer period of time, which is why when I train, I typically use a heavier weight with lower reps. Something else that I've noticed, and this is again me personally, I find that keto is a lot easier for me to stick to than when I'm on other diets. I notice that when I'm eating carbs, I tend to crave sugars and things like that. But when I've knocked them out of my system completely and my body no longer views them as a viable source, I don't crave sweets. I typically crave, bacon or super fatty foods because my body knows that when I consume that, it's going to get a jolt of energy, which is typically what, your cravings are for. For that reason, I find that the keto diet is just so much easier to stick to in the long run. One downfall that I will mention about the keto diet is that if you break keto, if you're keto adapted and you go out to lunch and you have, a whole bunch of carbs, it can mess you up for a couple days. It does take time for your body to burn off the glycogen that gets stored, and it will take you a little bit of time to get back in ketosis. Now, this isn't saying that you're completely shot for those days, but the ramifications of cheating on the ketogenic diet are a lot more severe than the ramifications of cheating on carbs. Because if you go over your calories or something like that one day when you're eating carbs, then the next day you can just kind of cut down your calories and not worry about it. On keto, you are going to get knocked out of ketosis and you're going to have to work to get back into ketosis. But that's not really a negative, in my opinion, because you're able to get back into ketosis as long as you don't go insanely overboard on the carbs and you're, doing a little bit of cardio. You can get back in pretty quickly. So I hope this video has given you some more information on the keto diet and maybe some reasons why you may or may not want to do it. And if you decide that, hey, you want to start keto, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. It does help me out a lot, but also I'm going to be adding to this series and covering things like finding your macros, and I already have some keto recipes out there. I just want to provide a source for everybody that's starting keto to find information. So if you want to hit subscribe, cool. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you have any questions, comments for me, go and leave them in the comment section. I'll do my very, very best to actually respond to you and answer all of your questions. But with that, I'm closing out the video, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Have a good one.